beginning we say, don't flush the toilet.
Where you come from? Why are you here? What's your story? Where you come from? Where you come from? Why are you here? What's your story? Where you come from? What's your story? Where you come from? What's your story? Where you come from?
Hey, welcome to the Crappy Awesome Podcast.
Yeah, it's your boy KILLcRey
Hip Hop Eddie.
in the casa.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Is it racist because I always say you're in the casa? Why can't you just be in a home? You know? Why? You're American. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Well, kind of.
I'm over here judging you like you gotta just be Spanish-speaking guy.
Because of
It's the mustache, bro.
Or the color of my skin.
No, I'm not. I can't. It's the mustache,
Yeah.
man. You got the Mexican mustache growing.
I'm trying to get... Well, no, I can't get anything.
Are you? Can you grow a goatee? Have you had a goatee before?
I can't grow. This is as what you're looking at is as much as you can see.
Oh man.
So it doesn't connect.
But I remember,
this doesn't connect.
I remember when you had the beard, though. That was popping.
Yeah, that was just the patches of covering
I
other
thought
patches.
it looked cool, though. I thought it looked like, you had like kind of like this rugged look. That's my vote. The beard is my vote. When you let it grow, I think it looks cool. But I know you look at mine and it makes you feel irrelevant because mine
it's just
is so thick and beautiful.
I know. Yeah.
The way the wind's hitting it, like you notice that the wind always hits it. The sun is always shining on my beard.
There's a shine depending. Yeah.
Always, man, depending on what I eat. Yo, guys, welcome to Crappy Awesome Podcast. Make sure you check out everything we got going on over at our home base, platformcollection.com. We are one of many podcasts in a network. You can go there, check them all out. Shout out to the new shows like Felipe's Garage with Murs and Cookbook. They're over there killing it. They had Elzai on. They got a bunch of interviews lined up.
It's funny too, man. I like it.
Yeah, they're killing it. Funniest I've ever heard Cookbook be, and this is the first time I get to hear Murs in this kind of format, so Murs is hysterical. So check it out. They're doing really good, and check out all the podcasts over there. Shout out to 60. I almost said 50 West.
Oh.
That's 60 East, little brother, 50
Yes.
West. But shout out to 60 East, man. I've really been enjoying his show lately. Mm-hmm. He's had some really cool interviews, and it's he's stepping the game up.
Yeah,
man.
he's out there for sure.
Yeah, the people are putting in the work. Yo, so this week we got a really, really good friend of ours. He's been, we've been friends with FM now for a good 6, 7 years. Yeah, 6 or 7 years. And DJFM, he was once DJ for Psycho Realm. We talk a little bit about that on the show. Now he's doing some really cool things. I would have to say it is an experimental, like, it's definitely an experimental music that he's fucking with right now, right?
And it's what he loves.
Yeah, it's very much him.
You'll hear him.
I feel like as long as I've known him, he's been a DJ for, Psycho Realm, and that group has a sound. It has, that I like to think that he added to, and he definitely added to the element of the group itself. But as a DJ for a group, it's a democracy most of the time. So when you finally get to work on your own stuff, and knowing Frank like we do, what I heard, he let us hear some of the music, and it was amazing. Yes, because it's so him. Mm-hmm. It has elements of a lot of different kind of genres. I don't want to spoil it for anybody because the project's going to be coming out, I think, early next year. But really, we just really wanted to link up with him and just catch up with him, let you guys in on the conversation. We talk conspiracies, we talk aliens, we talk that talk. And when FM's on, he doesn't hold back. I gotta say this, Eddie, I don't know if you agree, FM seems to be in the best place he's ever been. He's shining right now. He seems happy.
Yeah, definitely. I think with him coming out with his music the way he wants it in his style, what I was telling him was like, man, this is the first time I kind of see you with a whole brand new energy that it's you, like you are you now.
His authentic self.
Yeah, it's like you. And he was just like, whoa, like I told him it's heartwarming, your music, man. Like,
yeah.
Because it comes from the inside. It wasn't, I know you're a DJ and, DJs for the most part
are spinning other people's music.
Yeah. Or what does the crowd want? And it's sometimes it's like, what do I want? And,
Yeah.
But that's the business. So, but he's there, and yeah, man, we'll be there when
he had
it
us
comes
so
out,
yeah
man.
when it comes out. I can't wait. He had us over to his new house where I will not tell you it's at, but was a really cool creative space. He has a studio inside, swimming pool, all the goodness, and he's made his own little paradise for himself.
Yeah, that's nice there.
So we got to go there, talk to him, and yeah, man. I hope you guys enjoy this conversation. Make sure you follow official DJFM.
Yes.
And if you're listening to this on any of the places where podcasts are found, again, go over to platformcollection.com. You'll see some of his links there, as well as tons of dope music and other really great podcasts. So check them out. And this is our conversation with DJFM. We'll talk to you after.
In the killing field, I run with my steel. Better recognize the war here for real. Do my murder against your will, and some run around with intent to kill. I swear to uphold my mission, and that's right to the bloody finish. Through the whole war, I hold the position. Man, true, hold the position. No scar in your soul when you fight on like a true psycho. Oh, inside circle, and go crazy like a Seiko. Go stand on the front lines and pick up on the signs of wartime. One time make strange days. Now we run wild in the field with the blade. Come take a stand, my man, or end up in aim of steel range. Shot, bunch of wounds, straight pain. No time to explain. Action that cause chain reaction. Explode the whole world, red code. True gets far too late, cold, and watch this revolution unfold.
Street theater's a dramatic depiction of non-fiction, showing the coexistence of harmony and friction. We document opposition, pro-abolition and static, bringing those on a mission. The rendition of the street is territory counts as power. Defense and attack clash with firearm showers. The irony and cast with flowers that are violent hours. It's self-inflicted control by watchtowers.
It's a nice little setting right there, right?
Word.
Yes.
DJFM.
Yes, sir.
The illustrious DJFM.
How we doing?
Yo, man, it's been how long, dude?
Shit, it's been a few years.
Yeah, it's weird because like we're actually friends.
Yeah.
So it's like we don't it's like over the years, like even though like we don't see each other, like we always kind of keep track of each other, because like we'll check in every once in a while with each other
Yeah.
just to say what's up, or you're in a new house and so you had us over today, and this is literally the first time we've seen you in like 5 years, maybe?
4 or 5 years, yeah.
Wow. Shit has changed though.
Yes, sir.
Shit has changed.
Very much.
The let's catch people up like right from the beginning. Like when was the last time you were like officially in Psycho Room?
I think it was 2014,
2014.
I believe.
Yeah.
Around there.
So around 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So now moving forward, like what are the lessons, dog? Like there's a bunch of lessons that go from being a working artist all the time to taking some time off and then to come back as a working artist. Like there has to be a lot of lessons in that shit.
It's tricky because I do want to say, I do want to give musicians advice, but then again, I feel like I'm still learning.
Yeah. Right.
So the most I can say I've learned is that, you as an individual, if you have it in you to do other music, other groups, other genres of music, your own solo stuff, whatever, whatever it be, if you have it in you to do it. Because, you never know what the outcome of a group could be, because a group is a thing between many individuals.
Right.
And when you combine...
It's not one voice.
No, it's not. And when you combine, multiple destinies and people, basically you don't know what the outcome could be, and it's not within your control.
Yeah.
You know. So it's always good to have your own little stability in the background, whether it's your solo shit or your DJ stuff or whatever, to fall back.
It's just
on.
smart.
Yeah.
Right?
Word.
Yeah, and it's like did you feel like, because you before we went on, you said you had like wanted to take a break from like the business part of music, right?
Yeah.
And like kind of find yourself artistically again.
Yeah.
Like when you decided to make that choice of like, okay, I need to slow shit down a little bit. Where were you like mentally? Like,
well, I honestly, I was upset. I was kind of, saddened by the fact that I wasn't doing what I love anymore, which, it was a big thing for me because I pretty much lived for that. I left my home in Miami and came to California where I had no family and I was just making friends, and I took a chance with everything.
Yeah.
And with that group, I stayed.
because you believed in it.
Yeah. I have kids out here, and for my kids and for my music, I stayed out here. I made that choice to hang around, and it was a long time. I was, in '98 I started with them. I dipped out for a couple years and came back and was there, till like 2014 or 13, around there. And that's a long ass time to dedicate your life to something.
Yeah.
So it was hard to let go. It's like a relationship or something.
For sure it is.
So that part was kind of hard to deal with for me, personally.
Yeah.
But I kept myself busy. I was DJing.
Wait. Before you move on, was it difficult because there was like anger, or was it like heartbreak?
No, it was more like heartbreak.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
sadness.
Yeah.
More than anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think I felt anger at all over the whole thing because it didn't go down that way. It wasn't like an anger thing that went down. It's just,
Right.
I was just told, hey, this is how it is, and this is how it's always been.
Yeah.
So I respected that and walked away respectfully. So, I've learned my lessons, but some of them I feel like I'm still learning. So I can't really say too much.
Where are you at with like we were talking about like your mental space? You know what I mean? Because you've always been a dude who's been like not afraid to talk about like where you are mentally, or like developing yourself, or like trying to expand your mind. Like where are you at there? Like, are you happy?
Now?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
What about then?
Well, then I wasn't. No, I was surrounded by people who genuinely were kind of using me for different reasons.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like they loved me, and they were my friends, and they were encouraging me for anything positive, and they had my back. And leaving home and not having family and then being surrounded by people like that is kind of, it makes it really depressing and shit.
Right. It seems lonely.
Yeah. No, I was even homeless for a while during those times. So imagine that shit, like being homeless, not knowing who your friends are, not knowing what the fuck is going to be the outcome of your future, and if the chances you took were the right ones, and now you're out here like, what the fuck,
Yeah.
So it was really difficult. And then to top it off, they broke in my storage. I was homeless, but I put all my shit in the storage, and they broke in the fucking storage. Like, oh my god,
and took your equipment.
Yeah, they stole my MPC and all my beat stuff. And it's been tough, but everybody goes through shit. So I'm not trying to get pity or nothing. I just learned.
No, I just want people, because you've been on the show multiple times, and people always ask about you, and I want people to just be caught up with like the story, because they missed 5 years too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like so, okay, let's go by the step though. You get robbed, then you said prior to us starting the show that you never really stopped making music though. Yeah,
I somehow found a way to always practice, whether it be the turntables or my production, which is my main thing,
Right.
So
and that made you evolve, you said, because you didn't have the MPC.
Yeah. And then actually, in the midst of all that, when I began to get my life back together, I also became a Freemason.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, I see you were wearing the ring. We got to talk about that.
Yeah.
You in apathy, huh?
Yeah.
That's that. Okay, so we got it. Definitely. Well, we'll get to that. Wait. So is that what happened next?
That's one of the things. Yeah, that I ran into a brother who I could see a lot of good in him, and I wondered, how could I be a part of something like that?
Yeah.
And he kind of guided me and taught me a little bit about what,
because you have to be invited, right?
No, you don't. They don't invite nobody. Yeah. It's about what you want. It's about your interest in it, and whether you whether it's something for you. You know what I mean? It's not for everybody. So, coincidentally, it's been in my family. My uncles have always presented that symbol around me, and when I've asked, they don't want to tell me nothing.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very secretive,
Right,
and
right.
and me being mystery dude with the mask and all that shit,
Yeah.
like it really interests me. All my life, it was a big mystery. When I'd ask my mom was like, I don't know. They don't tell me anything
Okay,
either.
so you know there's some people right now, like with their jaws open, right? This is Conspiracy Theory FM. And now he's in the, like, they got to him. They finally got to him. They told him, take this pill.
No, man, and that's the thing. It's not even like
man.
that. You know what I mean? Honestly, like I felt like if I can live my life doing music and collecting shit for me, what am I gonna do to give back? You know, God's looking at me like, okay,
you
did good with that, but
what do you owe?
What have you done for anybody but you?
Yeah.
And I thought this would be the perfect platform for something like that. You know what I mean? A little bit of philanthropy, something that I've never got a chance to do.
Wow. So what was the experience? I know you can't talk about a whole lot, but what was the experience with? Because here again, right? Like through the story of FM, like here again is FM taking a risk. Like, okay, here's almost like a new community.
Yeah.
I want to do, because you've always been like that.
Yeah.
Like,
You know, I've heard all the rumors. I've heard everything negative online.
Oh, I'm sure you had.
But I know my family, dude, and these
Yeah.
dudes were good people who, out of everybody else in my family, they were the only ones that were going out there and doing shit for their community and helping people that they got nothing back from.
Yeah.
They just wanted to do good, dude.
Yeah.
And to me, that shit.
The action spoke louder than the words.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
So I was like, look, whatever it is that the big wigs, I don't know, because that's probably never going to be me, but I see something good here, man, and I want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's it. There's nothing else, really.
I mean,
you know me, dude.
I know you. No. I mean, you know, I mean, I could give a shit either way. Like, I think it's, I just think it's so funny, like, because in a good way, by the way, because you can tell, like you're a genuine person, man, and I can always tell when you're sincere. You know what I mean? Like, so it's super easy to know, like, yeah, that he's really about that. But it doesn't surprise me, though, is what I'm saying, because, like, I feel like you've always kind of been aware of the idea of, like, you're blessed, like whether it's through your talent, your position in life, whatever. You're blessed, and you've never like denied that part.
No, not at all. I know it.
Yeah.
And I've never been a religious dude, but I've always been spiritual, and I've always believed in God.
Yeah.
I've had a very close relationship to Him because I've spent a lot of my life alone.
Yeah.
My mom dumped me off at a boarding school, military school, sent me off to Panama. I was always alone as a kid. I didn't have no brothers or sisters, and then I come out here, I'm alone. So my relationship with God is very, very close. You know what I mean? He's the only one I got to talk to, period.
Do you feel like, because I'm an only child as well, and like, do you feel like, because I wonder about this sometimes, right? Like, that being an only child, it's like a super unique position, right? Like the perspective is very different.
Yeah.
Right? Because comparisons aren't always available, and they're rarely there. Like, you know what I mean? But
true,
negative and positive, right? Like you don't necessarily get compared to your brother, but you don't got a brother. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's a give and take thing. And like, I've always wondered, like, oh, is there ways that I am that other people are like, that's kind of weird.
You're only child too?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
So I've always wondered, like, well, not always, like, as I gotten older and I'm like, yo, like, responsibility for self and what I'm putting out there, right? And like, I started to think, like, there's got to be things that I do that people who are not only children are like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? There has to be. There has to be, because that's how I feel about them. Like, sometimes, like one of the conversations Eddie comes with from a big family. So I'm like, what is it like to have your bro, it's just another dude in the house? Like, what is that? That's weird. Like, what is that like? Right? Because all my brothers have been chosen.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I chose these people as my brothers. Like, where in that case, I can't even comprehend the etiquette. Like, what's the etiquette?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that being said, if I find that strange, there's got to be shit about us where like people who do have brothers and sisters go like, what the fuck? Like there's either you.
I'll tell you what, I
yeah.
do always feel like it's hard for me to fit in.
Yeah.
Certain places. I do feel like it's hard to fit in.
I'm one of those dudes who could go to a bar and club and just be by myself. Like, really easy. Like,
but I mean, I because I did move around a lot. I
learned how to socialize.
I know how to socialize.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I choose to who I choose to socialize with. I'm very picky about, But yeah, I'm basically like a loner. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what made me a loner is growing up and not having siblings to share shit with and whatnot.
So it makes me wonder, right? Like in a group dynamic, it's interesting. Like, do you know if Jack or any of them were you the only child? Do you know
In the group?
Yeah.
Well, obviously Jack and Duke, they're brothers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah.
But Cynic, he has a brother, Soda.
Yeah. So right. So in a group dynamic where everybody's has brothers and sisters or has some reference to not being an only child, right? And then there's an only child. Like you don't. It's what I'm saying is it's not hard to like understand like when groups eventually hit a point where growth is not possible anymore within the group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That. Yeah.
Like it's totally understand. Like I guess that would fucking happen. Like right. And so you went through this transition. When did you come back to like music? Where like what happened when you were like to get you back in that mode?
I think I kind of snapped out of it at some point. I don't know what it was exactly. I don't listen to much new music.
Yeah.
I kind of keep my head buried in the shit that I want to make music like.
Yeah.
At least for right now.
Right.
And that's kind of why I have been trying not to DJ either, because then you got to get in that
that's
DJ
true.
mode and you got to play what people like.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm going to stay away from that shit.
It's the exact opposite of where you want to be right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've purposely been trying not to DJ so I can keep my head in this like mentality.
Yeah.
And one of the things I concentrate on is ministry. I've always been a heavy fan of Al Jurgensen and what that dude does. I like groups like Tool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then when it comes to hip hop, production wise, like I'm open to anything that's.
Dude, you know what I thought you were going to say right now, by the way?
What?
Just in case I got to say this.
What?
As I'm looking at your ring, when you were like, yeah, I've always been into ministry. I was like, this motherfucker became a minister? Like,
So I thought the
that's
same
what
thing,
I thought
man.
at first. I was like,
oh
this
yeah.
shit is about to get crazy right now.
No, ministry is
We're being set
it's
up.
like a 80s, 90s
Yeah.
industrial
My
rock
mind-
group. But
yeah.
dude was so ahead of his time, man. He was putting samples, like
Yeah.
literally movie clips and samples, the kind of shit that when you hear my beats,
You do a lot.
I
Yeah,
do a
yeah.
lot. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that's
Like
the
making
influence.
cinematic music.
Yeah, and that's the influence. And I think watching him make something new inspired me, man, because I thought, look at this dude. Like he came out before when I was a kid. He was already out putting music.
Yeah.
This dude's older. He's putting out music today, and that shit sounds as hard or even better than the shit he did back then.
Yeah.
It's fucking incredible. If you close your eyes and you're not looking at this dude, you're just hearing this music. It's mind blowing. You know what I mean? I'm like, can I just fucking get this out of my head, and I'm gonna do what I love with no restrictions.
Yeah.
There's no type of fan or following that I have right now, because Psycho Realm fans, they love the fans that have followed me from Psycho Realm. They know that I fuck with rock and hip hop.
Right.
They just know because it's always been in my mix.
Right.
It's always been in my
And
style.
you've always
beats.
been open about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the few heads that followed me from there, they got love for both.
Yeah, in fact, I think you said if you had not gone down the trail of hip hop, you'd probably be doing some rock shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what my first dream always was.
Mm-hmm.
When I came to California originally, I wanted to do a group. It was going to be called Black Havana.
Yeah,
And
that's dope.
yeah, and that's my Cuban roots.
Yeah,
and black because it was of dark music. It wasn't no happy radio shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always wanted to make that statement that I'm Latino in this business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I didn't want it to be cheesy, and I didn't want it to be something that I used to pull people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it had to be something obscure, like real, just not direct. You know what I mean? But now with my friend Frankie, we started this thing called American Bastards.
Yeah.
And it's basically oh shit. So American Bastards is basically making the same statement.
Right.
So I'm an immigrant. I mean, son of immigrants and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to me, that's how I've always felt in this country.
Right.
You know? So the statement's still there, but and the thought of, you know, me as like I was in Psycho Realm, but I always had the vision that I wanted to do this group, my own thing, something. And you guys know that I was fucking with that band in Long Beach back in the day.
Yeah.
There's been other bands that have come and gone that I've tried to
a
connect.
bunch of different projects.
Yes, and there are people that I try to connect with to bring out and manifest that vision that I have, and I've never been able to find the right team.
Yeah.
Like these guys have all been excellent musicians, but not fitting to the puzzle,
To the vision.
to the puzzle that
Yeah.
I'm trying to put together. And it finally happened with Frankie.
Yeah.
He goes by Frankie Knuckles or Frankie Pistolas.
Uh-huh.
He was in Legion of Slugs, and he's Duke's homeboy.
Yeah.
Basically, that's how I met him.
Through Duke.
Yeah, they were working together, and I met him through, you know, different venues and different events and stuff, and at Duke's Pad, and I was like, yo, dude's dope, because he's like me. He likes rock and he likes hip hop, and he's kind of from the same era. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is dope. We should work together. He's like, yo, and I play guitar, and I was like, what? And,
Wow.
And he's like a metalhead, so he's like shredding, you know what I mean? Like I could pick up a guitar and play a couple little riffs for a sample or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like anybody could do.
Yeah.
But this dude's killing it, you know. He's like a guitar player, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And the exact kind that I wanted, the dude who understood these genres that I like,
Right.
but he could now give me that shit, you
and
know?
it was authentic.
Yeah, because the bands I always fuck with were like rock bands. They weren't really hip hop heads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they didn't know that language.
Yeah. Or they did, but they didn't understand it in my way.
Yeah.
And Frankie is the one that I truly connected it with that in that way. You know?
How did it come about though? Like he just reached out, or you reached out, or like,
Well, he hit me up about DJing because he did a hip hop album, a solo album, after Legion, and he asked me, you know, hey, once in a while when I get these gigs, you mind coming through and getting on the tables for me? I don't have a DJ, that'd be kind of dope. And I was like, yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
And that was actually one of the only things that I was doing on my like downtime from music.
Yeah.
Was getting up and doing those gigs with him, you know. And I didn't mind because it was something along the lines of what I was already feeling, you know.
And you were already stepping in that direction.
Yeah.
Funny with the money, oh, you got me mistaken, honey. I don't want to rape you, I just want the paper, the visa, Kamisha. I'm out like the vapors. Who's the one you call Mr. Macho, the head honcho? Swift this like Cubacho. I got so much style, I should be down with the stylistics. Make up to break up, niggas need to wake up. Smell the Indonesia, beat you to a seizure. Then fuck your mom, hit the skin to amnesia. She don't remember shit, just the 2 hits. Her hitting the floor, and me hitting the clicks. Sucking on the tits, had the hooker begging for the dick. And your mom ain't ugly, love, my dick got rocked quick. I guess I was a combination of House of Pain and Bobby Brown. I was pumping around and jumping around. After then I asked her who's the man, she said B.I.G. Then I bust in her E.Y.E. You're dead wrong.
Strong, who got it going on? You're dead wrong. The weak of the strong, who got it going on? You're dead wrong.
No rappers on our spit, non-fiction. And next time for a while, now with raw friction. Never be a raw, the boomerang be upon you like Taylor with my horn in Venezuela. It's a world favela, so fuck the novella. I'm out of the cellar with a blade and some cheddar for this whole new world order. You to bow down to the loud sound of slavery. This ever be terrible.
And so when we started to rehearse for shows and stuff like that, we started talking about bringing the guitar and throwing some beats around, and he started throwing some beats at me, and I started adding to him, and vice versa. And then he hit me up with his name, and he said Bastard Nation, and I was like, that's dope. I like that. There's something about it that really sticks to me, but there's something missing, you know. And I said, American Bastards, how's that? And he was like, I like it. And I was like, all right, done. Because that's how I feel, you know.
Yeah.
And especially in California, man, there's so many different races here and shit. And I grew up around just a bunch of Cubans in Miami.
Yeah.
I never felt racism like that. Everybody was equal to me. Nobody talked down to me, or grabbed their fucking purse and walked away scared like they do here. You know, like all this shit I experienced in California, that pisses me the fuck off, I'm ready to start talking shit.
It's super interesting, man, because like I can tell you as a Californian and as a Mexican, right? Like it's super easy, and this is just admittal, like it's super easy for me to forget that you have Cuban roots, and it's a very different journey. And it's a very different perspective on life.
On America, yeah.
Yeah. You're definitely still, you have like that a blue collar mentality, right? Like when you approach your work, like it's very much this and like it's about the work and like, and then you also have this perspective of being alone again, like, right? Like you're an only child, and then now you're an only child of immigrants, right? And then as an only child of immigrants, you had to like constantly look for a home in a place that wasn't like the most like welcoming.
No.
Right? Like for sure.
Yeah.
And so it has to shape the way you look at life, right?
No shit. Yeah.
Right? Because it could take you one of two ways, right? Like it could either give you perspective on what it seems like you are doing, where like you haven't let it break your empathy for people, or you could just go the other direction, right, and find a fucking clock tower, like
go postal and shit.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what happens, right? Like,
no, but this is my method of going postal.
Yeah,
I do it via music.
Yeah,
you know, I'm not literally losing it, and it's not anti-American shit. It's not. It's nothing, because I'm fucking proud to be American.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I live here. I'm not gonna talk shit about where I live, because I don't piss or shit where I eat.
Yeah,
you know, and I got love because my family came from, you know, communism. We ran from that shit for a better life, and we got it here. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
But let's not ignore the facts.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of shit that has to be fixed. And in the political environment, that's great. That shit just set me on fire, dude. Mm-hmm. Like Trump coming out and being the fucking douchebag he is, just
that's right. We haven't talked to you since then.
Just set me off, dude.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there you go.
Oh.
It literally lit a fire in me and made me want to talk about a bunch of shit that has been on my mind, you know. And I'm just one of the few people here writing for this group.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But the mentality is the same. Like Frankie thinks along the same lines, like the same social issues, political, whatever it may be. He's feeling the same shit.
Where were you when Trump won?
I was here. I was here in California.
Watching it on TV?
Watching it on TV, dude. Fucking in shock. Just like, no way. This
like everyone else.
Reality TV show douchebag is about to win this shit. I live right here near Huntington Beach, as you know.
Yeah.
And somebody came knocking at my door preaching that shit. You need to vote for Trump. And blah, blah, blah. I was like...
I'm sure there's a high Trump voter average out here, right? Orange County.
Oh yeah,
I'm for sure. There's no doubt about that.
But it's interesting to see, you know, Christian conservatives, like evangelists, you know, these Christian Republican conservative people following a guy who's clearly
not Christian at
all. Just lacking morally. And ethically everything, dude. He's just a terrible person. Like,
it's weird. I just had a conversation with somebody about that, and like that fact, right, that you just said, because it is a fact. That is his base. The fact that they follow him makes it quite obvious that it's about race.
You know what it reminds me of?
It's not about anything else.
No, exactly. That's exactly right. You know what it reminds me of? Have you ever seen the movie, the trilogy of The Omen?
Yes.
And the last one's called The Final Chapter, when he's going to be like president or some shit.
Oh yeah,
he's like a
like
politician.
That finally happened.
Yeah, exactly. But he has these moments when he goes into these caves to talk to his people, and it's in secret.
Yeah.
But they're just like, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Like all like hypnotized.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it seems, like a blind following. Like anything the guy says, they'll support, no matter how morally
I think
wrong,
it's hard.
no matter what.
I think for as a Christian conservative person who is like racist, right? For a person like that, it's hard for a person like that to not see Trump as like, oh shit, we might get we might really get what we want.
Yeah.
Which is just us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, because they look at him and they're like, "This might be our only chance," right? Because
so they're willing to accept all the evil shit behind this dude just to get their way. It's the same thing with Republicans. They're in there kissing his ass because they're like, we're going to use this idiot. He's going to help us get all this shit done.
Dude, I mean, is there
nobody let us do before?
Is there any way that it ends well for Trump at the end? No, right?
I doubt
there's
it.
No way.
I doubt it.
I mean, just in life, like it's not going to turn out well, right?
There was a guy that followed him for years and wrote a book about him.
Yeah.
And he says that the way it's going to, in his mind, the way it's going to end is that he's just going to bail out and say some shit like, I'm going to leave.
Yeah, like I tried.
Right. Like
but you guys wouldn't let me.
That way he wouldn't go completely down
I believe
with the ship. He's trying to bail out.
That's probably my bet, too.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I feel like that. I mean,
he doesn't give a shit about us, man.
He's not winning.
Let's face it.
He won't win again. I know, like that's not going to happen because it's going to be critical mass at this point.
I don't doubt anything, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely hear you, but here's the problem that I feel. Okay, you know how like when Obama left office, there was still like he's still my president. That talk, right?
Yeah.
You think that they're not going to do that? I mean, that's like headed towards like Civil War type shit.
Yeah,
right?
no doubt.
Literally.
Well, this country's never been more divided than since the Civil War.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you that.
Right? No, I mean, that's hard numbers. That shows that now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's okay. So let me ask you this, man, your perspective, right? From your in this country, like your minority perspective. Like I have mine. I'd love to hear what yours is when it comes to like what is it that our people are doing that allowed such things to happen?
Well, it's not so much that we allowed it to happen. I mean, historically, I don't think we were disadvantaged, so to speak.
Right.
At a time when, I mean, it's just like I don't know if it's War of the Worlds or one of those alien movies where they're taking over and they're like, they came in,
right,
and they were already a bit more advanced.
Right.
They pulled in on a tribal civilization,
Right.
conquered them, took over their shit.
They started in a lead.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're still talking about somebody who came in here and started taking.
So what happened
they didn't come in here and partake equally and decide that, hey, we're going to split everything. Let's make this right. They were like, we deserve this shit. This should be ours. We're taking it. We're going to do something better than what you've done.
Yeah.
And we believe that for the better. Whatever the case,
Sure.
You would think that things would be a little bit more balanced now. That people would be
Right.
at a point where they would realize that these were primitive times, and it was fucked up to think that way.
Yeah.
But let's leave that in the past. Let's move on. Let's make things better now.
Yeah.
Let's think a little bit more advanced. Let's be that next level civilization.
Yeah.
That people always try to sound smart when they say the shifting of the paradigms. But but you do want that massive wave of people
that
changing.
happening anyway within the system that's there now?
It's already happening. Look at the way kids are protesting about guns.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the Me Too movement, all that shit. They want to call them snowflakes or whatever. But the point is that people are getting fed up with shit that's been wrong.
Where do you see it hitting a critical mass? What does a critical mass in America look like? Have they killed the revolution out of us?
No. It's happening. It's just a gradual process now.
Yeah.
Like things are being changed gradually, and people are starting to say, okay, I know that's been happening for a long time, but that doesn't make it right.
Yeah.
Let's fix that.
Yeah.
Let's make that right now. You know what I mean? And I see that in like I said, like the Me Too movement and all that shit. But
what about look? This is something that Eddie and I were talking about. Like one of my, because I am at this moment, I definitely feel like the only way to change anything is like a complete breakdown of the current system. And this is why, because of this one thing, right? Like this is the best example I think that shows that. Policing, right? Mm-hmm. And the concept of police is forever going to be what it is right now, right? Because the reality is of what a police officer should be is like almost like a Buddhist priest who also,
has enough discipline to not abuses authority, but
Right,
yet he's
has
going to
no-
going to maintain order.
Yeah, but also has a relationship with the community that it polices, right? And that it's super important.
Exactly.
There is nothing even close within the bylaws of any police jurisdiction that will ever get us to that point. In fact, it's going the other direction.
Yeah.
So policing can't even exist in its form right now for anything to ever change.
Well, I'll tell you what I do see happening that I believe is a big part of what's gonna create change.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people hate this, but it's biracial mixing.
Yeah.
Because after a while, our kids are gonna be so mixed that they're gonna
race isn't gonna matter.
Race isn't gonna freaking matter because they're gonna have that tradition embedded with them inside of them, and they're gonna look at things from a different perspective. They're gonna be like, "Wait a minute, my dad is whatever. My mom is whatever. That's not cool."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like another thing that's changing is kids are growing up with a different mentality now that they're approaching science as well.
Yes.
They're in these laboratories dealing with products that used to damage people and hurt people and cause cancer and whatnot, and nobody ever gave a shit because profit was always more important than anything else, right? Well, now these kids are like, fuck that. My mom uses talcum powder, my dad or whatever. And these kids are ratting out these companies and they're going down. And little by little, all these fucking people who were living for money, all the greed, all the just conceptually wrong money driven companies with no moral conception for people or giving a shit period of what consequences it causes, now are having to face they're these kids who are ratting them out.
Yeah.
Because like I said, their parents are using products and people are changing. I think there used to be a time when people were just okay with all that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, it's smoking cigarettes, everything in public, all that shit. Little by little things started changing because people were like, no, we're real. You think 50 years ago people read labels and gave a shit about what they ate and what they're reading? Nobody gave a shit about that. Now people are literally paying attention to what their bodies are intaking, what chemicals are in the food. Like nobody gave a shit about any of those things.
So
everybody would just follow.
So the ultimate question for someone with those ideas is: do we reach change first, or do the robots kill us? Because I know you got to have some thoughts on like artificial intelligence.
Oh, no doubt, doubt. The Terminator theory, like one day they're gonna get so advanced they're just gonna turn on us and shit and realize that we're just.
I've done a bunch of research on the AI, right? So this is first. Let's just look at the facts. Google is probably gonna develop like the first AI because they're putting all their money into it. Right?
Yeah.
Like they're moving it into our homes, like with the Google and Amazon shit, like all that's it's a part of artificial intelligence.
Self-driven cars,
right?
All
So
that shit.
This year they also bought the largest robotics company in the world, right? Do you think that those departments are not talking? Like they just don't have anything to do with each other at all? Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is a company that creates technology, biggest robotics company, AI. Of course that's what we're going to have, right? But here's the problem. And this is the only problem that I see with AI, because I can see, of course AI is going to make, at least for a stretch, life is going to be nice.
Right.
For sure that's going to happen before the shit hits the wall.
Jetsons and shit.
Yeah, the thing is like, dude, like they're talking about like the implementation of like nano speakers, right? Like nano speakers will literally just be out there. So you could just be walking down the street and be like, hey, what's the name of that thing? And just get an answer like to your, So that will change perspective as a whole in life, because one, the hope is, right? Like the hope in a great functioning community would be that then you would take that extra time to expand yourself, right? But that's not America. So the reality is there's going to be a large group of people who go the other direction, right? They're just dumb as fuck, like literally not maintaining any bit of knowledge, right?
Yeah. So
as that starts to happen, and by the way, I'm being fucking like nice and saying there's going to be a group. There's going to be half. Like that's the truth. Like
shit ton of
the numbers show right now.
Yeah, no doubt.
The numbers are going to be just as relevant. The ones that are relevant now are going to be relevant then.
Yes.
And so there's going to be this large group of people that are going to basically give their lives up to the machine, right? And then we're at a point where scientists today, and this is something that's happening today, this is a world debate. Should there be rules to AI? And there are a large amount of scientists who believe no, there should not, because that's not real science. Real science has no limits. Yeah. If we're going to create a consciousness, then it needs to be true consciousness.
Right.
And there is no world law stopping them from doing that right now.
Yeah. Well, you've
heard Tesla talk about it. Like Stephen Hawking, that was his big thing right before he died. Like, there needs to be some oversight in AI. There has to be an exit button. Right. There has to be. And there's scientists that are like, nah. Google's like, nah.
Well, I've seen a Japanese scientist who was designing a robot who is self-teaching.
Yeah.
You know, as it's going, it's learning. Those are the dangers. Like, it's going to...
That is definitely the danger.
How much can it learn? And at what point will we just be of no use to them?
Right. Because one of the things that in AI, right? So this is, for people who are not familiar, it is the best way to envision it is artificial intelligence is a brain that does not shut off and it only problem solves forever.
Yeah.
Every second and quicker than we could ever imagine, right? So it will very quickly get to a point that realizes that it'll just see us for what we really are, the things that we all know that we really are, like consumers of the land. We kill shit. We kill everything, really, right? Like everything that's not us, we kill it.
Yeah.
Everything that is not us, we kill it. Right. All of it. We've killed it.
It's like how we've been described in the Matrix. Exactly. We're a virus. We just spread.
But that's the reality.
Eat everything and spread.
If your function is to create the best possible place, then why would it determine that we're the best thing to have around? Like, monkeys are better than we are. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not fucking shooting people and shit. Like, so it would be a very easy determination. And obviously, like, that it is one theory, right? Because I am also all aboard and like, yo, if life could get way better, then dope. Like, if I can have a fucking hospital in my house, dope. Like, all that shit. But just like with any technology, there'll be a class split first. The early benefiters of AI are not going to be a lower class, right? And dude, think about this. Africa skipped, there's parts of Africa that skipped having landlines, period.
Yeah.
They went from nothing to cell phones. And the technology, but for them, it was such a long fucking hard road for them to get there because things had to get affordable, things had to get smaller. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, so the beginning of AI is only going to benefit the top half of the world.
Yep.
And then it's kind of up to what they do with it. And so far, they can't be trusted because they fuck everything up.
Pretty much.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I can't see, like, I want to know where your hope comes from. Because I'm down with it. I want that. Because when I look at shit, it looks pretty grim. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do have hope in humanity. I do. One of the things that I do think about a lot is that, like I said, that interbreeding, because it seems like, and I'm analyzing everything as it's being presented to me politically. Everything in the world right now it seems to me like it's almost like this repetition, like a 60s environment, like the protesting, the anti-war shit, people starting to not trust their government, and not knowing which side to take, Republican, Democrat, all this shit is like the world's on fire right now, and it just seems like in that little documentary I put on my IG, it's saying that basically these are the times that it brings out the most artistic part of people. You know what I mean? It brings out the best in people.
Yeah.
You would think that the world is on fire and we're all going to sink, but it's actually that moment where we're at the precipice. You know what I mean? That humans tend to do something good and prove that we're better than that. There is value to us, that there is good in us.
Yeah.
Not everybody is a fucking Trump, wannabe. Some people in this world want better. And, if I can do that through music, I mean, Bob did it through music.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that did it, peacefully.
How do you...
I don't do it peacefully. I'm going to do it kind of angrily.
Yeah.
Because my music is kind of aggressive. But it does have these moments where it does have these passive moments. Like, I look at groups like Pink Floyd, for example, where they can reach these intense, like almost dramatic peaks, and they're really dark, and then all of a sudden they turn into this serene moment.
Yeah.
And you're following the lyric, and you're in this moment. It's like watching a movie, but it's all audio.
Yeah.
So I want to create that environment and just kind of take people to a place where they can picture. I take them through the vision of the fucked up world, and then I let them picture what the new world could be.
Yeah.
You know, and then
That's
I
dope.
leave it in their hands. Like, I'm out, but you know, what are you
Dude,
gonna do?
what has kept your like your faith through the ups and downs? Like you said, like you've been at low points, you've been at really high points.
Because look at me, look at where I'm at. Like,
Yeah.
you see me, I'm living okay, I'm healthy,
Yeah.
I'm happy. Like, no matter what, I'm always okay. You know what I mean? He's always provided some method, some way. As long as I try to do right, I feel like he's gonna take care of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see people receive their karma, or the universe comes back to haunt them or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's really because they've set themselves up to lose by doing a bunch of bad shit. I'm not perfect. I've
Yeah.
done my own shit, and I've had my own karma to deal with.
Yeah.
But I've accepted it. I never said, hey, man, this is fucked up. It shouldn't happen to me. I was like, nah, man, you know, you've done what you've done, and now you got to pay the price. And
Yeah.
and I felt like I've paid my price, and now I can change and do better. You know, I forgot what fucking, I think Vanilla Sky is, they said,
yeah.
every passing moment is a chance to turn it all around.
Yeah.
And that's how I looked at it. Like, you know, like God's keeping me here because he's giving me the chance to turn it around.
Yeah.
So that's what
So
I did.
you got no choice but to
Yeah.
see it through.
Yeah. And artistically, like we were talking about before the interview,
Mm-hmm.
I'm at that point where I feel like I can make something and it's completely from the heart. I don't have to cater to anybody. I can just do
Right.
it how I love it.
Right.
And then if you know, if the fans are there, they're there. And you know, I don't know how to promote my IG. I don't know how to get fans to follow me. I don't know how to do all that shit. I'm gonna have to face that at some point.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't give a shit about any of that. I
Yeah.
just want to make the best fucking album I could possibly make, even if it's the last one I make. I just want to make something incredible, and whatever happens after that, if I can continue, great. But I really see a vision with American Bastards. I think it could be.
What are we
something
looking
incredible.
at, like timeline wise? You guys have anything yet?
I want it to be 2019.
Okay.
We have a lot of songs so far, but I want a lot more to choose from.
Yeah.
And then I want to be able to immediately start putting out more shit. So I want to have a stockpile of dope shit, you know?
It's very important nowadays for sure.
Yeah, man. So we're just creating material, putting together videos, just a bunch of dope shit. Just so when I start dropping bombs, I'm gonna drop them hard.
Yeah.
You know, people are gonna see something in me and from me that they never imagined. That's for sure.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Yo, okay, so we definitely have to talk about this. Beginning of this year, the New York Times and the New York Post simultaneously posted what they said was the first proof of UFOs.
Yeah.
So-
We've been talking about it for years,
So
right?
yeah, so you're the first person I thought of when I saw it. I was like wondering, like, oh, I wonder what he thinks about this, right?
Yeah.
And so since then, the story has come out. Like basically the story is ever evolving, right? But it seems like the American psyche has been like prepared pretty well for like this, right? Because this was like confirmed, right? Like somebody I forgot who it was, but they made me see like how that worked, right? Because it was two papers, and I believe it. One of them was the New York Times, I believe. It was two out of New York that both posted the story, right?
Right.
That was Pentagon confirmed. This is
They had an
a
interview
video.
with pilots who
Yes, they had the
officially
pilot.
saw it.
Yeah, the Leguizamo or something like that. There's some guy. It basically it was tied to Tom DeLonge's To the Stars Academy. Have you heard of this?
No.
Okay, so Tom DeLonge, you know who Tom DeLonge is?
No, I don't.
From Blink 182.
Oh,
Tom
shit.
DeLonge,
Okay,
right?
gotcha,
Okay,
gotcha.
so about a couple years ago, there was a WikiLeaks that came out, right? And in the WikiLeaks papers, through all this stuff with John Podesta, who at the time was Obama's cabinet right?
Right.
He worked with the Clintons. In fact, he came from the Clintons to Obama. High-level officials, right, having conversations about some of the stuff that's pertinent to like even the Trump case now, right? Like it's evolved into that. But in those emails, there was also other conversations with Tom DeLonge, right? And Tom DeLonge was going to keep this under wraps, but WikiLeaks outed him. Tom DeLonge was having meetings with a team of people. And so how this came about is still kind of debated, but apparently his brother it works for CIA. And his dad has always been in politics. I didn't know that, but that can be confirmed. Like his dad has been in politics. So he had this kind of opening, and he'd always been into UFOs, always been into research.
No shit.
Worked his way to a point to Podesta, where Podesta basically, and since then, by the way, like there's a UFOologist, Grant Cameron, who's kind of like seen as one of the more trusted authorities, right? He doesn't really chase like his whole thing is like it's not even green little men. He's like, that's what people think it is. It's not that. It's never been that. That has been like a front from the beginning. Like, and his thing was like, they've done this throughout the years. And like Tom DeLonge is just like the new choice because he does have a more modern platform. He can put shit out on Twitter. And so that video is in their ownership, right? As well as investments from Bigelow Aerospace, which Bigelow Aerospace is.
Wait, what video?
So the video of the UFO that was posted, right? That
Gotcha.
CNN took, all that stuff.
Right.
That's in their possession. They have it plus 24 other.
So
videos.
are you saying that that's the reason why it got out?
No, I'm just saying. So when it came out, the reason you know that at least this information was given to us is because stories don't break like that at two different papers. They're competing papers.
Ah, got you.
There is no way that it would be like, yo, you're on this fucking story, FM. You go out and then you're gonna break it for your paper, right? Like, because that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And then you simultaneously go to the competitor and go like, we're gonna break it too. Like, you don't get anything out of that.
No, yeah.
That's not how it works. That's not how media works. So that's how you know that was a very constructed thing put out, right? And I'm not saying that it's not the video's fake or any of that. I'm not saying any of that. I believe it for sure.
Yeah.
But disclosure is definitely a planned thing.
For sure. Yeah.
That's for sure a planned thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about classified information, so
Right.
nobody's just going to step up and give you that.
Right. And I feel like when they dropped the video, the majority of America response was like, yeah, we always knew. And then life just kind of went on. Which was crazy to me because I was like, what the fuck?
Here goes one for your boys from the Southtown blocks, and now let me show you how the West Coast rocks. I've been there, done that, Cali streets run that. Need some California love, got a ton of that. Saints to angels across the map, out the laps around the world, but I keep coming back to that sunshine state where even gangsters skate. With all this California love, how could you not be straight? It's that SoCal life, and it's so nice. You can feel it in the air, cause the vibes is right. I did this rock stuff, been tatted, been locked for imitations, sincere full of flattery, but not us. One by one, I'm putting them in their places on a first come, first served basis. West Coast, rock steady, rock steady. West Coast, rock. West Coast, rock steady, rock steady. And bus is the first class limousine. Private jets around the world still don't mean a thing. We drove a van across the land with $2 in a drink. 8 shows a week, so now we made it on the TV screen. Raised in the hood, played rock out the hood, made a name out the hood, still remain from the hood to the north, south, east coast, living the life, and on them underground kids don't work that hardcore.
Well, you know, there's a video on YouTube it's a really good compilation of UFO footage.
Yeah.
And actual news casts talking and broadcasting about these sightings and shit. And it's a compilation of just back to back, you know, CNN and then RT overseas, like all the different TV stations are like
Al Jazeera.
reporting literally on sightings and showing footage of some incredible shit.
Yeah.
There's one out there. If you look up like UFOs news and then you see like these two newscasters on there.
Yeah.
You'll see like a shit ton on there. So people have always had their their ideas like, okay, there's something out there, we don't know what it is. Government knows something, but we'll never know, man.
Yeah.
We'll never know. They tease you like that because it helps people just shut the fuck up, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, look, yes, there's something out there, whatever. We don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. Let it go. That's kind of what I feel they did.
Let me ask you this.
I don't think it was true disclosure. Like, there's
No.
fucking
In
aliens
fact,
out
what
there.
Grant
We know who
Cameron
they are.
said-
We talk to them. We interact with them.
Grant Cameron said that one of the CIA ways of disclosure is usually a 7-year process, right? So he's like, he doesn't know why. Like, he's just like, that's just how they like to do things. And within 7
What
years.
if we find out that the pilot is really just an actor and shit? He was never even a pilot.
Dude, here's the thing. For me, right? It doesn't fucking matter because I've seen one.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't fucking matter. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what they say, but what it is, and like the footage that I've seen more of recent, and the things that I've heard people who are way more educated on the topic than I am, like it is leading to, for me to believe one of the options I had always thought, right? And so Grant Cameron had a great way of explaining it. He's like, if for like the layman, like the easiest way to explain it is less like beings from outer space and more like magic. And he's like, when you start to really think about what that statement is, right? He's like, because he wrote a book called, I think, Protecting Magic. And he's like, so when we think of, we're only seeing things within what we can visualize within our reality, right? So even if we see something that we have never seen and have no reference point, the reality is you don't see it because it doesn't exist within your reality, right?
You have no way to file it in your
Right. There's no way to
mind.
file it away, right?
Right.
So you are only seeing, and your mind, and the mind is a problem solver. It tries to put things in order for
Exactly.
you so you can
Yeah.
see things, right? But like he talks more about like that it's always been interdimensional. He's like, it's always been. And he's like, and like the interviewer's talking to him like, so like, elaborate on the magic thing. He's like, look, everything that people have reported is true. Everything. And he's like, that lends itself more to like actual science, like in a multiverse, right?
Yeah.
Like what they assume we're in, right? And then so I was watching this video and I started going down the rabbit hole a little bit, and
Right.
then I see this debate with who's the scientist? He's like that pop scientist, big mustache, black guy.
Oh yeah.
Fuck, what is his fucking name? Yeah. Ah, fuck, Eddie just said it. No, not DeGracia. It'll come to me right
Yeah.
now. But anyways, he was having a debate, and they had to do this yearly debate. And one of the debaters was this scientist who found, I don't know if you saw this, but he found the best way to describe it. And this is math beyond my comprehension anyways. I don't fucking understand it for shit. But within the genetic code of the universe, right, there is a code that is more similar to a Google search engine than it is to anything they've ever seen. Like it's an actual computer code, right? Which that part doesn't surprise me. I know everything is math around us. I know
Exactly.
like it's all ones and zeros,
Yeah,
right?
everything can be defined by numbers.
Right. So, but the theory he then came up and published was that the odds of this world being not a simulation are astronomically against the fact that like this, they're saying this is a simulation, and this is why. Because humankind is definitely heading towards a place where the creation of actual simulations is a goal. Like it is what we want to do, right? Not just for people's enjoyment or whatever. It's a problem solver. We can run universal scenarios constantly. And that's what AI is going to be able to do. It's going to have that kind of process.
In an accelerated form,
Right.
beyond what we can do.
Beyond, yeah. So it's going to
Exactly.
create universes so that we can just play it out, right?
Exactly.
We can play out historic stuff, right?
Right.
So the odds that we're the first to get there rather than one of the simulations is so crazy against that.
That makes sense.
It's astronomical. They're like, you'd have to be almost dumb to think that we're the first ones.
Well, I mean, there are videos that show NASA footage in high frequency video footage, X-ray footage, different types of camera vision, like night vision and whatnot. But and they show these things entering and exiting our atmosphere in different frequencies. Yeah. And as they move in, they appear and disappear, but the frequencies
constantly, right?
The frequencies are going up and down. Yeah. And this is how they exist or not. Yeah. Because that frequency is changing. As they're getting closer to us and they need to land or come in, they begin to get closer to something we exist in. So the frequency begins to be visible now. Yeah. You understand? And when they're not there, they're just not there to us, but they're just in a different frequency, so to speak. And this is how people explain ghosts and shit like that as well.
Yeah, that's what I've always thought that's what ghosts are. I've always felt like ghosts were more of an imprint than an actual...
Yeah, it's kind of like when you remember the old tube TVs when you would shut them off and the silhouette would stay... It's kind of like, hey, that's that guy used to sit in that chair. Yeah. It's kind of like his vibe, his energy is still lingering in that house or where you used to be or the things you used to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily that there's a person there, but his presence is.
Have you heard of Skinwalker Ranch?
No.
Okay, so this one you got to go in on.
It sounds fucking...
Yeah, you're going to fucking love it. But so Skinwalker Ranch is an actual ranch, right? This is that part is like confirmable. Like you can check that out. And that it's owned by Bigelow Aerospace now. They're the ones who bought it. But it was actually a family's ranch. And I think it was like a mom, dad, and 2 kids. And they would always report things. They'd see shit, balls of lights, all these different things, right? But even stranger things, right? One of the big ones was like this giant wolf.
Oh, shit.
There was also this thing that appeared under a tree that seemed, like they said the best way to describe it is it looked like just like a blob. And it was interacting with like this other blob.
Plasma or something.
Yeah, yeah. And they're like, but it saw them, it escaped from them. Like, so after enough reports happened, Bigelow Aerospace came in. And now, so Robert Bigelow, right? Robert Bigelow is basically Iron Man, right? Like he's that dude. Like he's a believer. He said he's had an experience with UFOs, but he's also the largest supplier of aeronautics and basically everything NASA puts in the air comes from Bigelow Aerospace. Bigelow Aerospace is also within the race with Tesla to get to Mars first, right?
Oh, shit. That's awesome.
Yeah, so they're like, he's the real dude. He's the real deal. Multi-billionaire. And apparently he even houses in Vegas at Bigelow Aerospace in Vegas. There's a room there that's been reported many times that it had to be constructed because at some point they came into contact with some materials from whatever one of these crafts or whatever, and the report was that a piece of it got sucked out of a building, and it went through 3 stories of a building, and basically
disappeared.
Yeah, basically gone. So they constructed this building that the government actually rents from time to time. It's basically impenetrable, right? Like it's made out of who knows, but it's where they keep a lot of this material. And Bigelow's been like open about it. Like he's given interviews. People kind of see him like as like just like a Tony Stark character, kind of like eccentric rich dude, and they don't ever know like if he's bullshitting. But when I found out that he was investing in Tom DeLonge's company, that he bought Skinwalker Ranch, and that there's a Bigelow in San Diego.
So wait, so you're saying he's trying to reverse engineer a piece of some alien spacecraft?
And so the thing is like, well, not just that, probably all of it, whatever technology we have, because the government, the best way they can handle this technology is in the private sector, right? Because they don't have to like divulge anything. It's private. Like he doesn't have to tell anybody shit. Yeah. And so everybody for like Podesta even confirmed like for a long time, basically Bigelow was their drop-off guy because
Wow.
he was willing to spend the money to house most of this stuff, get the security to do it. They say he has like an army.
You know, it boils down to the same basic
Yeah.
the thing between science and religion. You know what I mean? Like you're looking at Christianity is the only one, or religion is the only one that's going to challenge the thought of is there life out there?
Yeah, yeah.
Because it like you're saying, science has already proven factually, because statistically,
Yeah.
the same way that we're here,
Like within our
there could
galaxy,
be
right? Isn't there like
the same
10,000?
the same elements that made us are out there already. We've
Right.
already found habitable planets. We know they're out there.
And if the universe is infinite,
yes, then there has to be, obviously.
it's just mathematical.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But religion will argue that, just like they want to argue that, the Earth's been around, what, for 3,000, 2,000 years?
Yeah.
Like, where are dinosaurs? That comedian was like, those are here to, I forgot what he said, to challenge the word of God or something. The comedian's like, you're challenging me, you're pissing me off. But
there's people who believe, that all the dinosaur bones are faked.
It's just interesting how intelligent people will let something like religion push away logic for a
super
minute.
interesting,
Like
man.
it's
always been crazy to me.
it's nice to have faith, but don't blind yourself and make yourself dumb. You know what I mean?
I think one of the the problem is it's when people try to assume that they know.
Yeah.
Like when I know
My faith says it's this, and I know it's this, and I know.
Yeah.
No, you don't know nothing, because the universe is a fucking mystery.
Right.
So
Like we
keep asking
literally are on
questions.
just some rock out in fucking
You're here to
space.
keep asking
Infinite.
questions, dude.
Right.
That's it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Knowledge is infinite. Keep asking. Keep learning.
So any more UFOs? Have you seen any?
Honestly, I think I did see one, but I was a little out of it at the moment, so it could have been just a helicopter or something. But I haven't had an experience like that in the city for a long time.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been traveling like I used to.
Yeah.
I used to at least get away. I used to go to like Havasu and take that drive out there where there's nothing. There's just crops and shit,
Yeah.
But I haven't done that in a while. I kind of been laying low and just
You
working
get to
on
see
music.
the rockets closer though, right? Doesn't Tesla fire from around here somewhere?
I don't know.
Yeah, a little north of you, I think.
Well, I haven't been keeping up with any of that
Yeah,
stuff.
they shot a Tesla into space.
A car, yeah.
This is an
I
actual like.
I saw
we're
that.
So
The
silly.
fucking
like,
moon man sitting in
you know
the
what I mean?
thing.
Like if there's a higher consciousness,
If a real spaceship's
Look
going
at
by,
this
he's
dumb
going, look at
monkey."
this fucking retard.
yeah, look at
Yeah.
the monkeys learned how to
Yeah.
make tools. How cute.
Yeah. They're telling all the other aliens, please don't go there.
Yeah, just leave them alone.
Just go past that one. Like, you don't want to stop there.
yeah, take some cows.
Yeah.
Get a few dumb people.
Yeah. Just good luck.
Man, do you feel like this year? Are you back to the point where you're excited again this year, like artistically, like where you're like, this feels like it.
I feel like
once felt.
Yeah, I do. I feel
Yeah.
like a kid again, man. For a while, I didn't know if I could make music again. I didn't know if I wanted to. And like I said, I was jaded by the music industry. So
Yeah.
I literally thought, fuck it. I'm just going to leave this shit behind me and start like 9 to 5ing a regular job.
Couldn't do it, man.
And I couldn't do it. I did it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Obviously, most of my life, I've worked construction. Like, no matter how
Yeah.
much I've DJ'd, I've been able to take off with my buddies who got companies, construction, like contractors and shit.
Yeah.
And I'll go just bust my ass and build some houses. Because
Yeah.
that I know how to do. But this was like a regular, straight up 9 to 5, clock in, clock out
Wow.
kind of thing. And I wanted to give it a shot. And the whole time I was unhappy, not because I was working, but because I wasn't doing what I love. You know what I mean? Like music, for me to leave, to do something my whole life and then just leave it and turn my back on it, it was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like myself. So at some point I was like, you know what? You need to get back into what you love. And just like you found a way to always make money at it, you can do the same thing. There's a way to get everything done.
Yeah.
There's an answer that's
It's just
everything.
problem solving.
Yeah, problem
Right.
solving. Break your head on this, make it happen. But the point is that musically, I am today where I've always dreamt I could be.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I never thought I could just pick up these instruments and play them. I never thought I could just, bond with somebody like Frankie. You know? And I do have a drummer. I do have a bass player. We do have people that we've connected with the same way. They're not like in other groups or known or anything like that,
Yeah.
but they will be because these kids are all fucking gifted.
Yeah.
You know, I'm bringing something to the table that I don't think hip hop has ever brought, and I don't think rock has ever brought.
Yeah.
This ain't no Limp Bizkit, and I got love for all those dudes,
Yeah.
especially Lethal, but it ain't hip hop rock like that. It ain't rock hip hop. It just has some of that two
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? You'll hear it a little later.
It's more genre bending.
I'll show you a little bit of it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I've only shown two other people. One,
Dope.
yeah.
Dope.
So
And we'll have to kill those two.
yeah, we have to.
Okay, cool. Eddie, go start the car.
Yo, I will tell you this, man. Just not to get off the subject because I know we're talking about aliens for a minute, but I've told you that I've had my experiences where I do feel like I've been abducted.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
like I literally feel like
Yeah.
I had an experience that I can't explain, and I try to wake up out of, and I try to wake the person up next to me. And to this day, I don't know if it was a dream or it really happened to me, but
Yeah.
as a child, I had it recurring
Yeah.
to me. You know what I mean? I had that recurring dream where I was waking up being chased and trying to wake up from this thing. Sometimes I couldn't move, and there were these monsters. And as I got older, I started thinking, what if that's, that shit?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, everything from even those experiences as a child, we're incorporating in the music. Like everything.
Oh, wow.
Everything. It could be about aliens. It could be about the government. It could be about just anything.
Wow.
You never know. I just want to let my brain just explode
Yeah.
music. You know what I mean? And that's what
so dope.
I want everybody that I'm working with to be able to express that as well.
Yeah.
It's letting your imagination just flow.
Yeah.
If you really got a gift and you could do that musically, come here and let's put this beautiful picture together between us 4 or 5
Yeah.
people and make it happen.
Wow, man.
I'm watching what everybody else is doing, and I'm just glad
Yeah.
that nobody sounds like this. Like
Yeah.
what I'm doing is so unique, dude, that I'm really excited. The few people that I've shown it to, those 2 people both tell me that it sounds like they could picture it being like even on the radio or something.
Yeah.
I never made music like that, and I don't hear it that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they're like, dude, this could be like on a bigger scale if you presented it to the right people. That somebody, I don't want that. I don't
Yeah.
want a record deal.
Yeah.
I don't want to shop it. I don't want to sell it. I don't want none of that shit.
Yeah.
I just want to give it away. If someday in the future I want to do an album like that, maybe. But this isn't that.
Yeah.
This is just me pouring out my imagination and just getting a fix of finally letting out something that's been brewing inside of me all my life.
Dude, you got people like salivating right now. They got to wait till 2019. Are you going to like start leaking shit more?
Yeah, I am. I am. I mean, right now, all I'm doing is putting out pictures and
Right.
images that I want people to perceive,
Start associating with,
with
Yeah.
us with, And lately, I've been thinking, I don't just want to put this picture out. I'm going to put some sound behind it.
Yeah.
And they're not even sounds that are on the album.
Yeah.
I'm just like hitting.
It's just your feeling.
It's just my imagination.
Yeah.
Every time. So each one of these pictures that I'm putting out are unique in their own way.
Yeah.
They're just an artistic
And that's on your
expression of-
Instagram where? At DJFM?
I have one at The American Bastards
Uh-huh.
and at official DJFM.
Okay.
Both of them have it.
And if you're listening on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Spreaker, or anywhere podcasts are found now, you can come over to platformcollection.com right now, see all those links and the rest of DJFM's links. Yo, man, we need to do this more often. We can't be letting 5 years go
No
by.
doubt.
You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be way more often. I appreciate you, brother. I love you. Like, you're definitely one of those dudes who's not changed a bit except in good ways since the first time I met you, man. And
Awesome.
and I know
Thank
this
you.
business, this shit is hard. That's hard to
Yeah.
find. Man. So I
Thank
toast
you.
you for that, brother.
Thank you. Much love here too, man. I was excited about you guys coming down. You're
Yeah,
way the
dude.
hell out there in San Diego. I'm back over here now.
I know, man.
But hey, you got a home right here, man. Anytime.
Thank you, brother. We'll talk to you next time.
Yeah. God bless.
Religion makes God the biggest reason for war. Before money and the power, your hour of death was blessed a little more. Rigor mortis, bullets come like a killer chorus. Humming songs of the afterlife like psycho artists. My mind high roads where the streets hardest. I give my life to my people till I end up in a stone garden, or hang before I take a king's pardon. If the crowns keep the streets down, rebellion by the crowd is started. My 6th squadron is a hell's cauldron. In the belly of the beast, swearing murder in a big sergeant. Blue soldiers walking red paths with death masks. We see it all in ceremony. Massacres with bloodbaths is known as apocalypse now. Surreal battles in the end of time, done Francis Coppola style. Ain't no other way of stopping the shroud of dark. Only with the light till my last breath I fight till I'm out.
American Express car, drop bombs with it, God did it. Hit the road on your fucking cars with it. Life's cheap over here. I go to sleep, no problem. After revolvers blow out, what's in between your ears? Sweet to your ancestors. I weigh the energy in the shape of an AK-47.
Man, what a conversation that was that you guys did.
Yeah, man. Like listening to it back, it's really cool to like. Okay, you know what's one of the things, and we talked about it a little bit on the show. How like. We do this California thing, this California Latino thing, where everybody's Mexican to us, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
It was funny, man. It's a little deep, but we definitely like seeing FM being genuinely happy and seeming like he found himself again. You know, it was the first time where. You know, he was saying something. I was watching him talk. He said something, and he just, you know how he gets really animated, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I finally saw DJFM as my Cuban friend. Mm-hmm. I was like, wow, was I missing how Cuban DJFM is? Because he is Cuban.
Yeah, I definitely think, I mean, I go back to what I had said in the beginning of that, where it's when someone finds their true self,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, that it will other things blossom
Yeah,
around
right?
you, and it's like, whoa, like
Yeah, you're
what?
seeing him like
Yeah.
unfiltered, and I'd never seen that side of him. And yeah, so DJFM, you're Cuban. I know you knew, but we acted like we didn't.
Yes.
So yes, it's really super dope to see him keep growing. After putting so many years into the business already, he's still growing, and that's kind of the point of being an artist. Hopefully, young artists who listen take note of that. Here's a veteran who's just seemingly like unwilling to bend to anybody's box that they try to put him in,
Right, yeah.
and consistently reinventing himself over and over, because like all people, we constantly change, or you should be changing drastically all the time, or you're not really living anymore.
Right.
So shout out to DJ FM. He's an inspiration. You'll catch him again. He's going to come back on with his group that he talked about, man. That's going to be really, really dope. So look out for that coming up really soon. And again, if you're listening to this on podcast streaming devices,
Yes.
podcast apps, go over to platformcollection.com right now. And I don't know, drop us a note. Maybe, you know what? Why don't you do this? Go to iTunes, search Crappy Awesome, leave us a comment, and we'll read it on the next show.
Definitely.
Cool? All right, man. We'll talk to you guys later. Eddie?
Don't flush. But you may not flush the toilet.
God
Damn it. Did it again.
platformcollection.com.